The number of mental health patients in Cameroon have moved from 10,000 to 23,000 within the past 1 year. Thanks for joining us on the 6:15 primetime newscast in the English language on Canal International. My name is Gladys Ambodiba. Stay tuned for our major stories. A huge consignment of the popular consumed drug shisha has been seized from its owner by custom officials in Douala. The 139 cartons were about being smuggled into the New Bell neighborhood when it was interrupted. The owner of the consignment is on the run. With the crisis in the northwest and southwest regions, as well as in the far north of Cameroon, the number of mental health patients is said to have doubled from 10,000 to 23,000 within the past 1 year. Officials made the revelation in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, today, as Cameroon joined the rest of the world to observe World Mental Health Day this October 10 on the theme Back to Basics. Those were major stories. Developments right ahead. Good evening and thanks for joining us once again. A huge consignment of shisha, the popularly consumed drug, has been seized from its owner by custom officials in Douala, Cameroon's economic city. The prohibited product is reported to have been smuggled into the New Bell neighborhood in the Douala 2 subdivision. The details with Stephanie Chin.
A truck loaded with illegally imported prohibited items is reported to have been tracked down at the New Bell neighborhood in Douala. According to custom officials of Hakomi 3 Zone 1, about 139 cartons and 1,668 cartridges of shisha were hidden in a truck partially loaded with drinks.
These goods were seized in detention and have shown no proof of customs clearance. The goods that were smuggled through the creeks of the southwest region and transported illegally into the city of Douala.
Perpetrators of the acts are said to be on the run.
Legal measures are taken against their perpetrators, who as of this moment are on a runaway, and the goods seized will be destroyed following judicial proceedings, and even the vehicle that had assisted in the transportation is impounded.
This comes barely a few months after the prohibition of the importation, sale, promotion and consumption of shisha in Cameroon by the Ministry of Territorial Administration in February 2022.
And one person has died and several others injured following the collapse of a building in Bangante in the Division West region of Cameroon. Administrative officials in the division have taken measures to henceforth preempt a repeat of the incident, especially as it is reported that many houses in the area already have visible cracks. The details in this report. It was at about 8 p.m. Sunday, October 9, that the unusual noise left inhabitants of Banganti panic-stricken. A building hosting a restaurant and cooperative collapsed, killed one person and left several others seriously injured.
At about 8 p.m. yesterday, a colleague informed us of the incident because he was inside when the building was about to collapse. He quickly rushed out with others before the building completely went down. Unfortunately, one person was trapped.
According to victims, there were visible signs of a collapse just few minutes before the incident occurred. The SDO for the division was afield and later had a crisis meeting to that effect.
I was having a discussion with my wife and younger brother just in front of our house when we suddenly heard a loud noise. In the confusion, we discovered a crack on the wall, and my neighbor confirmed hers was worse. We then decided to leave after removing some important documents and items from the house. I can't explain what happened next, but I later found myself with injuries. We have decided that in 2 days we will go afield not only to identify houses with cracks, but to give a warning signal to owners that if instructions are not respected, we will move to the repressive phase.
The injured victims were rushed to the Bangante District Hospital for treatment. And on the occasion of Mental Health Day, this October 10, 2022, we take you to the Yaoundé Jamo Hospital, where some patients or persons with mental health problems are currently receiving treatment. Many have regained their health but want to join their families. The rest of the story with Beatrice Ngamo.
Yaoundé Jamo Hospital, direction to the village of love for patients with mental health issues. After 6 months of treatment and follow-up, Emmanuel is out of the crisis that took him to the streets when he came to Yaoundé from Dokbasi to Douala to learn welding.
I started smoking Indian, I started smoking cigarette, I started smoking tie. As the madness take me, I do not know where to go. One day on the road, these people see me and they call me. I come. They inject me. They put me in their car. They come and give me here.
Emmanuel, like the others, 40 in all, are now very stable and homesick, yearning to integrate with loved ones like his mother.
But with the way they are taking care of me, it is not a problem. Now that I want them, my family should come and take me because I'm already well.
They are already in discomfort here. It's not good for them because they are already stable.
Helping this section of mental health patients still in difficult states. Lodged in some 5 rooms here, they have a TV set to spice their day. Le Rappeur, as is popularly known, displays his old talent.
Yo, ouais, si tu vois ma go, dis-lui que je go chez le Watt.
Teamwork, what is helping the results this far, but not without difficulties. This includes logistics.
We lack of space now, and it's very important for us to have another place where they can be fine. Some challenges about family. Many of them think that the problem is witchcraft, a spiritual attack, things like that, and don't want to come and take them back home.
Families are being called to come and identify selves to take their loved ones home. While there, they will still be receiving treatment. The greatest wish is for this initiative to help our homeless patients become a national program. Since the operation to clean the streets of the capital city of mental health patients, initiative of the Yaoundé City Council, about 300 patients are following treatment, 150, while with their families, the other half at the Yaoundé Jamo Hospital.
And in Cameroon, skilled personnel and funding for mental health patients still remain in short supply and fall below what is needed. And since the outbreak of COVID-19, there has been an increase in the prevalence of depression as well as mental health, as we hear in this report put together by Sheriff Osale.
Many Cameroonians are ignorant that depression and illnesses on mental health has consequences. When I'm depressed, I walk it out alone. I have not reached that stage where I go to medical doctors, psychiatrists, or psychologists. I either go out with friends and chill. According to health experts, since the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, there has been a 25% increase in the prevalence of anxiety and depression. In Cameroon, services, skills and funding of mental health remain in short supply and fall far below what is needed.
The access to treatment and to professional is not easy, and we can feel the consequences in the general population by looking how the number of suicide, the number of of violence are increasing in homes, in hospitals, in the town, and even in schools.
As Cameroon joins the rest of the world to commemorate the World Mental Health Day, observed every October 10th, the objective is to raise awareness about mental health around the world and to mobilize efforts to support those experiencing mental health issues.
And taking care of mental health has become a priority for all. Our reporter in the nation's capital, Yaoundé Omokosome, went downtown and talked to some city dwellers to have their opinion on mental health. This report put together by
mental health, a person's condition with regard to their psychological and emotional well-being, mostly seen through the state of distress like the loss of a job, a dear one, or loss of a fortune. When you can't regulate yourself, it shows you have a mental health, but without necessarily being a mental patient. According to many, taking care of your mental health is very important, though methods differ.
First of all, I need to rest because if you don't have enough rest, you have headache, and the headache brings illness on your body. So enough rest and medication.
C'est pour jeter un peu ça et me confier sur la parole de Dieu. Je lis juste la Bible, je pratique les activités chrétiennes et ça passe. Louange, adoration et consort.
Health experts insist on the need to regularly take care of our mental health to avoid any sort of mental disorder.
We must not take that problem to a mystical problem. It's a health problem. So you must go to the service in the hospital to resolve that kind of problem, because there are many personnel who can help them to resolve or to solve their problem.
Also important to note is the fact that the mental health is purely different from mental illness or disorder. This, as health personnel see, mental health is mostly inexplicable as one can feel, while mental disorder is mostly brain instability and can be genetic.
And the first edition of the Matila Odwala competition amongst writers has come to an end. The writers have been celebrated in Cameroon's economic city, Douala. They are authors of a collection of short stories of about 164 pages that centers on societal ills. Stephanie Chin has more on that story.
9 young writers have been selected as winners of the Matila Old Douala 2021 literary competition. They have published a 164-page collection of short stories for screening, showcasing their literary creativity. Their works focus on issues like the crisis in the English-speaking regions, the financial autonomy of women, colonization, human rights, and African cultural identity.
I'm really glad of it. My only wish is that I can continue going on, I can continue writing, I still have the inspiration. The title of my novel is Insulanki. So the novel is about the situation in Bamenda when you have 2 young people who have to flee the war in Bamenda. So I have the inspiration because I'm really affected by what is going on in Bamenda. The fact that every day in and day out, you have people who died, you have death. So when I talk about it, I decided that something has to be done.
The Douala City Mayor, initiator of the Matila O Douala Literary Award, received signed copies of the anthology. Their creativity has been saluted by organizers of the program, who say they will stop at nothing to support their potentials.
And it is with our report we wrap up this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal, the International. The French edition will be yours at 7:50 p.m. with Alain Gisler Kanga. Up next is the brief, the l'actualité du sport. And we'll come again tomorrow, same time, God's willing. Bye-bye.